Climate change is literally throwing the world off balance. You probably know that Greenland is purging a ton of ice into the ocean. What you probably didn't know is that water is literally causing Earth's axis to shift. Here's how that works. Think of Earth like a spinning top, with the axis as a line going straight through the middle. If you put more mass on one side than the other, the center line will shift. Earth scientists have actually known for years that Earth's axis does naturally shift around. For example, rock slowly circulating deep inside Earth's mantle causes the planet's mass to shift. Shifts are also caused when humans pump out masses of water that are naturally stored underground. For example, in India in 2010, people moved 92 trillion gallons of water from underground reservoirs onto agricultural fields. But scientists now know that human-caused climate change is also responsible for what scientists call polar drift. In other words, the shifting of Earth's axis. Scientists did actually know that polar drift was happening as early as the 90s, but they didn't have the technology to know what caused it. But recent research has added more compelling evidence. For example, in 2016, NASA scientists used satellite observations to show that major ice loss played a big role in nudging Earth's axis eastward, starting around the year 2000. And new research found Earth's axis started its eastward swing away from the south a little earlier, starting in the 90s. Here's what's going on. For starters, water is really, really heavy. A cubic meter of water, around the size of a washing machine, weighs 1 metric ton. Today, Greenland, which is driving a huge amount of axis shift, is losing 268 billion metric tons of ice into the ocean each year. But while the slight change to Earth's axis won't impact life on the planet, the amount of melting ice causing the shift will drive significant sea level rise. In the coming years and beyond, climate scientists expect Earth to continue warming as heat-trapping carbon levels in the atmosphere rise. This warming, which recently helped obliterate all-time heat records in the Pacific Northwest and Canada, will inevitably result in faster melting from Greenland and other glaciers. That's not all. When glaciated lands melt, they lose mass and, consequently, some of their gravitational pull. This means ocean water is then tugged towards other places, ultimately resulting in even more sea level rise in regions far from areas like Greenland or Antarctica. That also means some cities will be hit harder than others. Cities along the eastern US coast are some of these incredibly vulnerable places. Melting ice in Greenland may seem like a far-off problem, but it's nudging your planet's axis, and it's raising your sea levels. That leaves us with a lot to think about.